What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Boleros. I'm here with Gab and Maui. We are finally complete. Hello, guys.
The cast is complete.
Hello! Langhiya kayong
Oh.
dalawa.
Oo nga.
Yung nag-carry hero ako no weekend mo.
Salamat, Gab, and salamat to our good old friend, Apo. I hope that's not the last time we're going to hear from him. We'll probably try to invite him for another analysis of the finals, which is happening this Wednesday, and which is why we have a podcast today. Kahit holiday, hindi kami nagbabakasyon. Lalo na si Gab. Kasi si Gab yung talagang hindi pa nawawala kahit nung weekend. I'm back. Sorry, I'm back from Singapore. Sorry, guys. Today, we are going to do a preview of the finals between UP and LaSalle. But since wala naman si Maui, the last time we did the podcast, I also am curious. Pinanood ko, by the way, yung podcast with Gab and Apo. I'm curious to know, Maui, anong reactions mo dun sa dalawang games nung weekend? Let's go first with the NU LaSalle game. Anything you wanna add or share?
Uh, it was a beatdown. I think yun yung easiest way to describe the LaSalle NU game. I actually met si Coach Jeff nung Ateneo UP game. I told him good luck later, but in my head when I said that, I knew that they had a very daunting task to face a LaSalle team who is on an 8-game winning streak. I think LaSalle has just been clicking at the right time. They're peaking at the right time. Si Mark Nonoy showed yung second round Mark Nonoy has been really crazy. Si Gab called that out even before the breakout kasi Mark Nonoy has always been a good player. He's always had his moments. But I think yung second round of this season really showed the Mark Nonoy we know, the UST Mark Nonoy. I think this is the Mark Nonoy that LaSalle has been waiting for when they recruited him from UST. But again, it starts with Kevin Kiambao. I think si Kevin Kiambao really did a good job getting everyone involved, picking his spots. It's really been a hell of a season for Kevin Kiambao. I was talking to some of my LaSalle friends actually. I think the biggest growth ni Kevin Kiambao this season has been really yung patience on offense and yung added effort on defense. I think LaSalle has really benefited a lot from a Kevin Kiambao that has understood that he is probably the best player in the UAAP. Very reminiscent to me, actually, si Ferdy Ravena nung last 2 years as a UAAP when he wanted to go to turn the button on, he can turn the button on. I think yung Kevin Kiambao we're seeing right now is somebody very similar to that. You rarely see those rush 3-point shots, rarely see those rush contested mid-range shots during the second round. I think yung breakout ni Raven Cortez and specifically ni Mark Nones has been a real testament as to how Kevin Kiambao really shared the ball nung second round. I mean, the numbers might not reflect it. He has been putting up good numbers from the start, a lot of assists. But I really think yung growth niya from the second round has helped Asal to get that nine game winning streak right now. But on the NU side, it's the same story from the previous season. Unfortunately, they probably peaked too early. Some of their players
They sucked the last
sucked.
3 games. They sucked.
They really sucked ng last 3 games. I think even worse pa to than the previous season. I think yung previous season, they might have lost yung games nila nung latter part of the season. But they were still competitive. But the NU team we saw nung last 3 games ng season is not the NU team we saw the whole season. Not the NU team that we thought were title contenders. I guess it played the hand na a lot of their key players were injured. Si Steve Nash had to go back, had to rush back. Si Padrones played with a mask the whole time. But at the end of the day, they really did prove that they are title contenders. And again, coming into season 87, I think yun yung biggest question natin. Will they be fakers or will they be real title contenders? Sam, any thoughts on NU and LaSalle?
Just want to actually I want to compare yung NU and yung Ateneo season, no? Kasi Ateneo, it's been a hell of a roller coaster, eh, 'di ba? Consistently inconsistent nga, sinasabi natin. They were like up and down all throughout the season. Barely made it to the Final Four. Whereas NU, I think they were like very consistently one of the best teams. And then as you guys mentioned, out of nowhere went down. So for me, if I were a fan, I would be more disappointed in NU season than Ateneos. Kasi yung Ateneos sort of, like, the fact that they made it to the Final Four is a miracle on its own. Parang, whoa, congrats, you made it to the Final Four, you made it this far. But whereas si NU, my expectation really was twice to beat all throughout. And then, they lose the twice to beat and they lose to LaSalle poorly. I think that loss to Adamson, that shouldn't have happened. They shouldn't have let that happen. So to give themselves a chance. But yun, I think that's to be honest, like when you look at the entire season and what Ateneo and NU went through, I feel like I have to say na NU's season was more disappointing to me. Especially given the expectations as to where they were most of the season. They were at number 2 most of the season. LaSalle, I already mentioned it. I picked them to be the champions this season.
Pwede magkatotoo.
So I think
Prediction
we're
to
going
this
to
year.
talk about that later. Here we go again. Sorry sa mga LaSalle community pag ma-jinx ko. But you're right, Maui. I agree. They have the best player in the UAAP right now, and that's KQ. And I just want to add, tama yung sinabi mo na, all the other role players are also peaking or are doing well, probably because of KQ. And what you notice then is how KQ trusts them. Like, he really gets them the ball and he really trusts his players to make the right decision or score. Like, naalala ko, the game that Nonoy became hot, the first game, I was it like the first time he scored like 20 plus points or something. Hinahanap niya talaga si Nonoy eh. He knew, hinahanap niya si Nonoy and then titira pa lang ni Nonoy, nagse-celebrate na si KQ. He really wanted Nonoy to get hot and he really trusted Nonoy. And I guess KQ was also listening to Gab kasi sabi niya, dapat pala si Mark Nonoy yung hanapin ko according to Gab dahil magiging breakout player yan. Because
Yeah!
I can't believe it. I think si Apo mentioned a stat the last episode, Gab, na parang ever since you called him out as a breakout player, parang according to Pong Docanes, parang 70 points na yung na-score niya or something. It's like a crazy
Yes, 70 points in the last few games versus 64 for the entire season right before that.
I think that's from Pong Docanes. I couldn't believe that stat. Ever since God called out Mark Nonoy. So, sa akin talaga ang crucial dito si Gab. Kasi si Gab nag-call out kay Mark Nonoy and he has delivered. But kidding aside, I think KQ is talented as a player on his own, pero I think yung level of trust niya and yung really looking for his other teammates has really helped LaSalle become one of the hottest teams in the UAAP. So yun. Let's talk about that Ateneo.
I wanted to add lang na something I didn't point out no last episode namin ni Apo. I was seated right behind the NU and LaSalle benches for that game. Thank you to my best friend and my best man for getting me those patron seats. I don't know how you got them, but yeah. So I was there and ang layo ng difference nung vibes ng NU versus LaSalle. NU felt like they were dead from the start na eh. Parang wala silang energy from the bench. No one was speaking up. They weren't loud. Kung nakita mo yung LaSalle bench at Coach Topex Robinson, sobrang may energy yung pag-coach ni Topex and yung energy ng bench, ibang klase. I don't know if you saw this during the one timeout. He came out, he hugged KQ. They were hugging in the middle of the court. I think KQ, you made a mistake or napagod na ata siya para sabi ni Coach Topex, sorry, I had to leave you in there for an extra minute or so. As they were hugging and they were laughing. Same thing pang when someone you makes a mistake, he signals okay lang, yung we'll get them next time, just keep on playing. I think he did that a couple of times kay
Yun,
Joel Policarpio.
yun ata yung pinost ni KQ sa Instagram, Gab, na may caption na I love you, man. Kay Coach Tope.
Yep. Yeah, and talagang there's a different energy to this LaSalle team that I don't think we've seen since maybe perhaps the Alden Ayo era. That there's a certain energy, some positive vibes on that bench. They love playing with each other. Si KQ is always laughing and smiling pang makagugod pass siya, and just the all-around vibes on that team, sobrang positive. I love how they play. Kumpara mo sa NU, as I told you guys right before we came on, when they were getting down, Jeff Napa, I thought kung may Starbucks tumbler siya na hawak, babato niya sa court or babato niya to, I don't know, sa bench niya, kasi he was just looking for answers every single time. Every time there was an NU turnover, harap siya sa bench niya, and he would be like, sino huhugutin ko na? Wala na ako mahugot na pwedeng gumawa para sa amin.
Wala nang mahanap no?
Wala na. He couldn't find any answers anymore. He was just trying and trying. And on NU side, I'm sorry, pero Omar John was useless. Hindi ko makapaniwala how useless he was against the tall LaSalle front line. Getting out-rebounded, couldn't score in the paint, was just a total bolero. Especially the last 3 games. So how I called them Maui, diba, the second best foreign student athlete coming into the season. No way. Freaking Omar John, what the hell did you do? Sobrang useless niya the past 3 games. I think it coincided also with their slump.
Collapse.
Yung slump din ni Omar John. Couldn't get anything to go. Anyway, let's go to the Ateneo UP game, Sammy.
Yeah, Maui. I know you were there during the game. Anything to add other than yung what Gab and Apo have talked about in that Ateneo UP game, and anything to look forward to for the losing team Ateneo after this season?
Yeah, I think before that lang, I want to say lang na to all the doubters of Coach Topex, I think he has proven his worth with how his players have reacted this season. Be thankful that you have a coach like Coach Topex to all our LaSalle listeners. But on the UP Ateneo game, I think it was a ugly, very ugly grind out game. I think it is reminiscent really of a playoff game. Both teams really wanted to win, but I think UP just showed that they were better. Siguro meron mga lucky shots, like a lot of people were, I think one of our batchmate na nag-comment sa previous episode natin, the bank was open on a Saturday. UP hit a lot of crazy shots, and I think it's not just only about luck. It's really about yung talent ng UP, yung shot creation, them having a lot of options on offense.
And the defense.
Yeah.
And the defense, diba?
Definitely. Actually, the defense of both teams were really good, I think. I thought that Ateneo really did a good job matching up with UP's physicality on the defensive end. It was pretty disappointing to me that Obasa was called for a few fouls that I thought that could have gone either way. It would have been more exciting, siyempre, if Obasa and DU went toe-to-toe more of nung game. I thought that played a big part on Ateneo really struggling on offense. If you've been watching Ateneo, especially in the second round, they go to Joe Obasa a lot sa post, especially when the offense is not clicking, when they can't run their sets. But Obasa really just being in foul trouble virtually the whole game. It made it a lot harder for Ateneo to match up with UP on the scoring end. But I thought Ateneo really did a good job. I think yung biggest takeaway ko talaga from this season sa Ateneo is these guys, despite probably disappointing some alumni, despite disappointing a lot of some Ateneo fans, they're fighters. They've been through a lot the whole season. They have disappointed us, but they've also surprised us. It's been an up and down season. But at the end of the day, if you look at most of the losses of Ateneo, including this game, most of those games naman were all competitive. I mean, only probably yung NU game, yung opening game ng Ateneo, that was the only game that Ateneo was really embarrassed and blown out. And I thought in this game, despite Obasa picking up his 4 quick fouls, they really did a good job. Si Gio Chu probably played yung best game of his season, despite if you don't look at the box score.
Let's go,
I'm
Gio.
sure si Gavin Apo probably mentioned this. He matched up it well with the youth. I mean, you definitely can't match you can't naman give the same output as the youth, but all you can do is try to make it hard. And I think that Gio Chu probably played yung biggest game niya. If Gio Chu plays like this for 14 games, then probably the haters will stop hating. But I thought that UP really did a good job, especially on Jared Brown. Yung full court press nila the whole game, they were pressing him 94 feet. When he got the ball from the inbound pass, nandun na agad yung guards. I think it's a luxury for UP having Kagulangan, Alarcon, si Felicilda, Torres, every one of those guards. I think si Cyril Gonzalez did not even play during the game. They have the luxury of really pressuring the other guards, and it's Coach Tab called it out. They basically have the best backcourt rotation in the whole UAAP. Any of those guys could be starters. I mean, si Felicilda and Torres were the star players, the starters of NU. But I think yung brightest stars ng UP this game was number 1 si Felicilda. Yung defense niya on Jared Brown was spectacular. But yung niya,
galing.
He also controlled the game and set the tone really for UP. Another player is si Terculas. The game was very, very much tight, and then Terculas with his energy, I think he blocked a shot in one play. On another play, he hit a 3-pointer, and then the next play, he stole the ball and dunked the ball. I think he had cramps right after that kasi talagang binibigay niya talaga lahat. And I'm happy for Terculas because he's a homegrown talent, di ba? He came from UPIS. But yeah, I think at the end of the day, UP was just too good and Ateneo just couldn't make shots. They had answers to Ateneo's defense and Ateneo didn't have answers. But I think yun talaga yung identity rin ng Ateneo. They've been fighters. It was actually I've been actually watching Chris Kuhn a lot kasi this is somebody that I was expecting to really break out this season. And actually nagulat ako with the way he's walking and running the whole season. Yung pala, it was revealed at the end of the day that at the end of the game that he was actually playing with a fractured foot. And I think yung identity ng Ateneo really started from him, just battling out. Despite having bad games, Chris Kuhn found ways how to be effective by rebounding, defending, and doing the dirty things. And I guess yung biggest takeaway ko as an optimist, as an Ateneo fan is I think yung sunog ng Ateneo crowd is starting to go back. Ateneo fans have been very spoiled and I think it has really affected how fans, di ba Gab? As a person,
point na yan, Maui. Yes.
Diba, from a person who is a blue bubble captain during our day, you really see yung Ateneo fans, wala yung sunog, wala yung fire, wala yung intensity. But I think this season, despite it probably being the worst season sa Tab Baldwin era, I think this season the Ateneo crowd is starting to get that fire back, that one big fight, that we believe mentality. And it's I'm happy about it kasi actually disappointing for me. Disappointing for me when you see fans not cheering, not being active during the game.
Or refusing to stand up. Bro,
yeah, it's refusing to stand
everyone's
up.
Standing up.
Diba? And dumadami na yung fans that tell me to sit down when I'm cheering, diba? Obviously they don't know what it feels like to be very very intense about the game and very 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 hot. I mean, this is something that's probably we'll see more in season 87. I know a lot of Ateneo fans, a lot of alumni are very much excited for the next season. Not just because Coach Tab has been hyping this team as somebody that will break out during season 8-7. But really, because I think yung fire ng Ateneo is back. Yun yung biggest takeaway. For UP naman, just some parting words before the finals. I hope your fans, some of the fans, especially yung mga rowdy and crazy fans, try to control more. I mean, heckling the players, heckling the referees, and heckling the opposing team's fans, there has to be a limit. Last game, I had a very bad experience. I told these guys off air. But this is probably the first time that I've been scared na nasa other side ako because I was in the UP side during this game. I experienced being in the LaSalle side, the USC side during different finals before. And this is the first time that I was really scared because some of the fans of UP probably are very too aggressive in my opinion. I'm not saying everyone. I just have to be clear. I'm not saying that every UP fan is like this. I'm just saying that hopefully some of the fans that are too violent already or too much into the game will try to relax and just enjoy the game and stop heckling the fans from the opposing teams. I know some Ateneo fans, some LaSalle fans, or some fans from the other schools are also crazy. But why do you want to be like them, diba? We just want to enjoy the game. We want to be good fans and really just support the team. Yun lang.
Okay. I think we can all agree na the best teams made it to the finals. Yeah,
Yes.
just based on standings, UP LaSalle, they were in the top 2 at the end of the season and they handled business agad, diba? Wala nang, alam niyo naman ako, I want more content. Gusto ko pa ng second
More
game.
games.
So I was cheering for LaSalle and for NU and Ateneo, but they handled business well and they're both meeting in the finals. This Wednesday, I think is the first game, 6 p.m. Tama ba? So
6 p.m. Samoa.
Let's talk about that game. For UP, Gab, what are the important points or things to look out for UP in this first game sa finals?
One is, can they get, well, it's the same as what I said to Maui, you coming into the Final Four. Can they stay out of foul trouble? It's no secret that LaSalle is way bigger than UP. In the NU game, in the Final Four, they rolled out a starting 5 of KQ, Raven Cortez, and Mike Phillips in the front line, playing a 2-3 zone. And that proved to be one of the Achilles heels of NU. They weren't able to match up in terms of size. For UP, I don't know if they can do away with the small guards that they play because they really have a ton of guards, so they have to play their guards. So hindi ko alam kung kaya nilang mag-match up height for height. I don't think they can. I think it's gonna be Diouf and one of either Torculas or Lopez or Belmonte in there. Si Belmonte probably less so, but it's gonna be Torculas or Lopez rotating minutes in that power forward slot. But they're gonna play 3 guards, so if they can survive size-wise and keep out of foul trouble and prevent some inside baskets, I think that will be big for them. On the perimeter, as I said, they're very aggressive. So if they can keep their cool and perhaps avoid bumping or reaching too much and force the referees to make calls, that will be pretty big for them. They sort of, medyo na ano sila eh, nawawalan sila ng composure at times when they're called for a ton of fouls eh. Which showed nung first half of the Ateneo game, diba? The UP assistant coach was called for a technical foul. The players of UP were frustrated as well. They were being called for fouls. So they can't have that. They're gonna be called for fouls because they play so physical. So control that physicality, play aggressive, but don't reach, don't bump too much. That's it for me. And they gotta hit their threes. para sa akin, yung very important yun, they gotta hit threes, they gotta open up the floor for Malik inside, because Malik is gonna have his hands full with the LaSalle front line. There's Mike Phillips, there's Raven Cortez, there's KQ, there's Policarpio, and there's Bright Nuanco if needed off the bench. So, I don't think you're gonna see a lot of sina Sean Alter or Pablo in this game. I'll maybe si Alter a little bit. I don't think si Pablo is gonna play that much. If he is, he's gonna be eaten alive, I think, by KQ or Mike Phillips or Raven Cortez. So for me, control the size of UP. I think they have to play zone. For me, the zone has proven effective in their past 2 meetings with LaSalle. So for Coach Tom Chua, their defensive coordinator, I think they have to play zone. I have to think even in the fourth, when it's crunch time, I think they have to stick to that zone. They can't play man-to-man. They don't have the size to stick with LaSalle.
Maganda yung point na yun, UP with the best backcourt, the best guards versus LaSalle with the best front line or the deepest front line with sina Mike Phillips, KQ. They don't even use Nuanco that much, diba? Like all the other schools very dependent on an FSA, pero sa LaSalle, they just have so many talented bigs na kahit si Nuanco, medyo lang siya, special teams, kumbaga. Maui, on the LaSalle end, other than KQ, obviously, needing to perform really well, anything to look forward to for LaSalle to look out for LaSalle to win game 1?
Yeah, I think we talked about yung NU LaSalle matchup. I think si Gavin App also talked about this in previous episode. I think yung keys to the game talaga ng LaSalle is them hitting the outside shots. Si Gab is right. Yung UP zone against LaSalle during the 2 games have been very effective. And that's the easiest way to break a zone. If your shooters hit their shots, then definitely UP will be forced to play man-to-man. Then LaSalle can go to all of those mismatches. I mean, KQ is a walking mismatch. If you talk about Raven Cortez, he's probably taller than most of the power forwards that UP has. But yeah, really about them setting the tone, them matching up with the physicality of the guards of UP. I think yun yung keys to beating UP talaga eh. If you get flustered with the pressure defense that their guards do, then definitely you will lose the game. So definitely one of the most important thing is for them to limit their turnovers. Kasi if they don't limit their turnovers, the UP will run them off the court. UP will just score a ton of fast break points, a ton of easy points. Then you won't be able to use your size advantage on the defensive end. But yeah, definitely si Mark Nonoy is a player that again we have to call out. He has to play a good game. Evanelli will surely show yung championship pedigree niya that he had during his time in San Beda. Both him and KQ will probably take those crucial shots. But I think one of the most important players also is si VJ David. He has been tasked to hit some crucial shots also on the wings and on the corners. Definitely yung 3-point shooters ng LaSalle will have to hit. Even if si Joaquin Manuel, if he gets minutes, he will have to take the 3-point shot.
Please no. Please no.
He will get minutes, I'm sure. Probably a few minutes. Yeah. But see, players like Austria, players like VJ David, players like Makalalad, players like Escandor, they will get open 3-point shots if the UP decides to play the zone. They have to hit those 3-point shots for the game to be easier. Si Kevin Tiambao has been very good also because he has trusted his teammates. And his teammates have performed. And I think yun yung main reason why the game has also been easier. Kasi he doesn't have to rush shots. He doesn't have to force 3-point shots. He doesn't have to force those ill-contested mid-range shots. I think yun yung keys to the game. LaSalle just has to continue yung sharing the basketball. Yun yung pinakita nila nung second round talaga ng UAAP eh. That all the other players are also capable of having big games with players like Raven Cortez and players like Mark Nonay getting player of the games. Kasi nung first round, I think most of the games, Kevin Tiambao was the player of the game agad at the end of the game. But in the second round, it was a different story with different players stepping up at different crucial moments. I think yun yung most crucial for LaSalle going into a finals against a team that is known for its depth. I think we established the whole season that that UP has the deepest team in the league. They have the most capable backcourt. But with LaSalle having the best front line, I think they can take advantage of yung UP having a front line that doesn't have that much experience. I think that's the reason why players like Pablo, players like Alter haven't been playing a lot during the latter part of the season. So definitely Malik Diouf has to control yung foul trouble niya if UP is to match up with the front court of LaSalle. I think yun yung most of my general thoughts coming into Wednesday's game. Definitely will be a nail-biter finals, I hope.
Yeah. Okay, sige. Just two questions, I guess, for you guys. Curious to know picks nyo for this one. Let's go first to X Factor. Sino sa tingin nyo ang magiging X Factor sa game na to for either one or for both teams? And when we talk about X Factor, guy in the rotation na you feel like will really step up and spell the difference for this finals series. Not just for one game, but for the entire series. If this person, coach, player, whoever will step up for the series, it's over. Mananalo yung team nila. Let's start with you, Gab.
Well, I'm sure the popular pick of most LaSalle fans and LaSalle faithful is going to be Junel Policarpio. Pero looking at how UP played in the Final Four and how Malik Diouf plays defense, I would say Raven Cortez has to be the X factor for LaSalle because of one simple thing. He can pull Malik Diouf out of the plane or farther away yung from the rim. Again, no, si Raven Cortez is not the most athletic or it's not the most athletic. Yeah, it's not the most athletic or it's not the fastest big man. He's not that imposing. He can't really dunk the ball when given unlike a Mike Phillips and all that. But he has excellent touch from the mid-range and from the closer range. Not necessarily yung under the basket, but those floaters, those hook shots, he's very consistent with that. And if he can do that consistently and pull Malik Diouf out of that restricted area zone that usually protects, I think there are going to be a ton of easy baskets for the likes of Nonoy Nelly to drive to the paint for KQ. And if Malik Diouf does not go out to Raven Cortez, that's easy money for Raven Cortez. I think he's a very high percentage shooter from that extended paint area. And on defense, you could also say na si Jonel Policarpio can also do that. He can also extend Malik Diouf on defense, but he can't match up well with Malik Diouf when Malik Diouf is on offense because he's that smaller than Malik Diouf. Raven Cortez is not. He can match up with Malik Diouf. I don't think he can stop Malik Diouf, but he's a big guy. He's a big body. He's tall. So Malik Diouf will have to account for his length. And yung on offense, man, if we saw this a lot when he entered the rotation. No? On pick and rolls, he's the guy that KQ loves to drop it off for those floaters, for those hook shots. So if he can get that going, I think it's gonna be a big factor for LaSalle. He's a very different player kasi from Mike Phillips. Si Mike Phillips, although he has shown the ability to, diba? Although he has shown the ability to shoot from the outside or the mid-range, hindi pa siya ganun ka-consistent eh. He likes to attack the rim, get those put-back shots, close shots talaga within that restricted area. Si Raven Cortez, very different player that Malik Diouf has to account for. Maui.
Yeah, I think on the UP side, I have to go with, I'm gonna call him a new nickname, Scary Jerry. Jerry Abadiano. I think he's my X factor. I think the whole
Scary
Scary
Jerry.
Jerry, di ba? Di ba, pesky on defense and very feisty guard. I think si Jerry Abadiano has to be an X factor for UP. I think most of their big games, you see Jerry Abadiano just doing his thing, defense, but really hitting those crucial shots. I think we've seen this the whole season. When UP is struggling, for somehow Jerry Abadiano gets the ball and he scores on a tough ball away or on a long floater. I think si Jerry Abadiano will be very crucial for the final series. He will probably be tasked also of limiting Evanelli with starting yung offense ng Lasal. And I think any plus you get, kasi naman, di ba, ever since time immemorial with Jerry Abadiano, the defensive end and yung energy will always be there. I think anytime you see Jerry Abadiano score 10 points or close to 10 points, it's a huge bonus for your team, for UP. For some reason, versus Ateneo, he has always been very good. And I think against UP, against Lasal, during this crucial games na kasi lahat, kasi finals, I'm looking for Scary Jerry to break out and show yung what he's been showing the whole season, yung slick mid-range shot niya and long floaters. My pick is Jerry Abadiano. Scary Jerry.
Si Scary Jerry, good pick.
Ang galing nun, Maui. Ang galing nun.
Si Mambadiano. Pag kalaban
Solid
natin
nun.
parang
Solid nickname.
Scary Jerry. Let's make it a thing, guys. Hashtag Scary Jerry. Good pick, Maui. I was expecting Polygab actually, but you explained it well, no? Si Raven Cortez. That's a good point. I'm gonna swerve here. I'm actually going to say it's the crowd for me. Yung X factor dito sa finals na to. We know how you guys talked about it. You sort of mentioned yung UP crowd, and I've been to games this season. UP, we've talked about this in the past. UP UST, two of the loudest crowds that we've ever seen, no, or ever watched live. So UP will definitely, the UP fans, the UP crowd will definitely bring it. It's the finals. So all out yan, support. And LaSalle, it hasn't been a good, series of UAAP seasons for them in the past. But we can definitely say na nabubuhay na ulit yung LaSalle.
They're hungry now.
Iba yung sunog.
They're
very hungry.
Yung sunog
very hungry
to get
season. Exactly. And they can smell blood din. Nandito na sila sa championship. They're close to reclaiming the championship that has eluded them for so long. So I also want to see yung LaSalle crowd na yan when they're all out, and then when they're a good team. We've seen this crowd go crazy also. So I think X factor din yung crowd na to. Sino yung mas magiging malakas na crowd? Sino yung mas marami na crowd during the first game and during the entire series, really? I think that's also going to be a huge factor in siguro yung feeling nung arena, 'di ba? Kung sino yung cheer ng mga tao. Because I think UP, definitely UP UST for me, are two of the loudest crowds. But I think LaSalle, especially since they've been, experiencing a dry spell ngayong nasa championship na sila ulit. I expect LaSalle to go all out also. Gab, you picked Raven Cortez for LaSalle. You have any X factor for UP?
My X factor, and kind of cheating to say his name, but JD. JD Kagulangan, since coming back from injury.
Former LaSalle player, by the way.
Former LaSalle player. Has not really had the big games that we expected from him. Well, a lot has to do with yung daming guards ng UP eh. And
galing ni Felicilda. Grabe si Felicilda.
Yeah, and unlike the past two seasons, he has a very capable backup in John Felicilda. Last year, his backup was Terence Fortea, and we all know how that went. He was not a very capable backup to JD Kagulangan, so JD was forced to play a ton of minutes. I look for JD to assert himself in this finals. He hit the big shot in season 84, played big minutes last season, last finals against Ateneo. I think that that experience will play a role. He does not have to score a lot, just with the amount of weapons he has at the disposal. But if he can start hitting shots and just get more attention on him and just free up his other teammates, I think that would be big for UP. In the last game against Ateneo, he had, I think, 2 points. I think 2 points ata, just one floater yung from the baseline. But it was Felicilda yung doing
2
much
points,
of the work. Yeah, so I look for him to assert his playmaking, to assert his pick and roll mastery. He's a very masterful point guard in the pick and roll. He's so good. I still personally believe he's the best point guard in the UAAP. He just hasn't had the minutes or the opportunity so far in the second round to show it. But now in the finals, I think you're going to see big minutes from JD. I think he has to get big minutes from Coach Gold. He's their best player. Well, second to Malik Juf, but he's their second most important player. And I do think that if UP is going to win the championship, I think they gotta have big games from JD.
Maui, you pick Scary Jerry for Lasal? Meron ka bang pick?
If I were to say sa Lasal, I think you guys mentioned si Policarpio and si Gab mentioned si Raven Cortez. I would have to go with another front court player. It's not Kevin Cambao. I'm going with Big Mike Phillips. I think si Phillips has to really exert himself sa finals. If there is a game that will be a grindhouse game, then definitely any offensive rebounds that he gets, any extra possessions that he gets from his motor will definitely come a long way. The UP front court kasi like Lopez and Terculas will be hustling and diving for loose balls. Definitely LaSalle has to match that energy, and I think that LaSalle really also gets its energy and its grit from the hustle of Mike Phillips. Si Gab mentioned this, Mike Phillips occasionally hits those outside shots. I think if we see a few shots also come in, that will help. Kasi yung point ni Gab with Raven Cortez is if you can get Diouf just a few feet away from the paint, then that will be a big plus. We know that Malik Diouf is probably the best defensive center in the UAAP. Si Gab has been harping this the whole season. When he blocks a shot and another person gets it from the other side, he's still there after the block shot. So I think there's a reason why both Gab and I pick front court players. And I think it's really because of the matchup with Malik Diouf. Malik Diouf is without a doubt the most important player for UP. Without a doubt, this is the person why UP is going to the finals in 3 out of 4 of the last UAAP seasons and them getting a title. And probably yung front court talaga ng Lasal have to do double time. Raven Cortez cannot just be invincible like how he's been in some of the games. Mike Phillips also has to be assertive. We've seen games that Mike Phillips has been benched. I think in the finals, he has to show that he has to play. He has to really exert himself, especially on the rebounding side. So yeah, I'm also picking another front court player. I really think that yung most important part ng Lasal is yung front court players. I mean, there's a reason why we picked Policarpio, Cortez, and Mike Phillips. And obviously, Kevin Cambao. I'm looking forward to a classic UAAP finals from the best player. If he can play like Terdy Ravena did during their finals appearances, then watch out the whole UP. Watch out the whole UAAP, diba? It's about vindication and it's about really showing that he is for real. Kasi come finals time, you throw all the stats away. It's really about just winning the championship. So I'm looking forward to seeing Kevin Cambao, how he will perform, how he will fare in the finals. I mean, it was really good nung Final Four game nila. So I'm not really expecting him not to show out during the game, especially sa Wednesday to set the tone. Sam.
Finals KQ on the way?
Yeah,
Finals
finals.
KQ?
We'll see kung meron ba. Meron bang finals KQ version? Just to add, I think another X factor for this series, health. The first two games of Lasal versus UP.
Si Sam, yung mga
They-
picks niya, hindi player eh. Mga iba-ibang factor.
Ang galing ng picks niya. Ang galing ng X Factor
Kasi
picks niya.
pinipili niya yung mga
Fairness.
naisip ko eh.
Good.
Hindi ka mapili.
Good job, Sam. Good
But-
job. Good job.
But I think health, no, just to add, kasi yung mga nabanggit natin na players, these two did not, when they met each other the first two games, diba? Round 1, round 2, they were not complete. Round 1, I think Lasal lost, they were missing Nele. Health reason nga ba yun? I think so. Round 2, when Lasal won against UP, they were missing Dio. Diba? So,
Kagulangan. Kagulangan, di ba?
JD?
Kagulangan also.
And JD, tama. So, they haven't met each other na kumpleto sila. And I think now, I think complete na both teams. So, it would be very interesting to see. We'll definitely get at least 2 games, diba, from the finals. Could be a sweep, so at least 2 games. And it would be very interesting to watch these two teams go against each other na complete and healthy. Because we haven't seen that, diba? So, yon, very important then to consider for this finals. In relation to X Factor, let's talk about, since we talked about Mark Nonoy before being like a comeback player, let's talk about Magic Hugot player for the finals. And iba to sa X Factor kasi yung Magic Hugot or Magic Bunot, whatever you wanna call it, yun yung mga tipong for 1 game or for 5 minutes or for 1 minute biglang naging big factor in helping the team win 1 game or that series or whatever. One good example maybe from last year's finals, Sean Kiteves. Diba? We would say na I think Gab, ikaw nagsabi nito, barely played the entire season last year, very limited minutes, and then out of nowhere helped Ateneo clinch that game 3 against UP with good defensive plays and game clinching.
Games 2 and 3.
Games 2 and 3. So, sino ang magiging magic hugot nyo? You can choose from, siguro, let's just go through a list if you have players from both teams or if may isa lang, go ahead. Sino ang magiging magic hugot nyo for this series na out of nowhere will help Lasal or will help UP win a game or 2?
Joaquin Manuel daw, sigaw.
Yun na nga, sabihin ko, let's go with you. Joaquin Manuel yung pipiliin ko eh. So, that's a perfect example. Diba? By the way,
yun ang slap in the face to all the haters, diba? If Joaquin Manuel just has 1 big game and it leads to a Lasal win.
You can see him hit like 2 or 3 threes in a stretch of a few minutes. Solid na yun. Gab, are you going with your boy? Let's start with you.
Para sa Ateneo.
Marami.
Joaquin Manuel, para sa Ateneo. Come on, bro. No, it's not gonna be Joaquin Manuel. I'm sorry. Kasi, let me explain. If Joaquin Manuel plays, it means he's taking away minutes from Policarpio because he plays the power forward in most instances. So, I'm not saying Joaquin Manuel. No, actually, I think it has to be someone not in the rotation. JC Macalalag. Sorry, not JC Macalalag. Earl Abadam. He has not been he has not been in the rotations for I think the latter part of the second round up until the final 4. He's only been playing spot minutes. In the first round, he was in the rotation. He was the backup to Escandor and the backup to who they started at shooting guard. I think si Nonoy. So he was the backup to those guys. Now he's barely playing. If there's one thing that Earl Abadam can do, and he can do it really well, is he can shoot. He can shoot from the mid-range. He can shoot from long range. And sabi nga natin, Maui, diba? Ang key sa Lasal talaga, kung makashoot sila from the outside, then they can assert their size inside. I think if I were to pick a magic hugot, a magic bunot for even 1 or 2 games in these finals, or just 1 game in these finals, give me Earl Abadam. If he can hit 2 threes, 3 threes for an entire stretch of games, for the entire stretch of a game, or maybe for 1 quarter, Man, that would be big for LaSalle. Just getting those bench points from Earl Abadam. On UP side, I'm gonna say, and I don't like saying his name because I've hated on him for quite some time now. Terence Fortea. He came back from injury this season, and he's played in blowouts, but he has not really played that much. He's found himself on the outside looking into Roteo, despite what UP fans say that they play him regularly. No, he doesn't. He plays spot minutes. In the Final Four game against Ateneo, he came in, got an offensive foul, and stepped out of bounds. And then traveled, I think. So that's 3 turnovers in less than a minute for Terence Fortea. That's how buried in the bench he is for this season. But if there's one thing Terence Fortea can do, just like Earl Abadam, he can shoot. Diba? Yes, and he loves shooting it even from very, very, very long range. So again, if Terence Fortea can find his stroke, can knock down 2 or 3 threes, and just get that UP run going, maybe extend the lead from 2, yung maging 8, maging 11, that would be big for UP. Again, no, in the game against Ateneo in the Final Four, UP is also prone to having droughts. They have offensive droughts at times. No, sometimes they go on big leads, then they go on droughts, and then yung mga kahabol ng teams. So they're also prone to that. And look for Terence Fortea. If they can get more offensive from the bench, get more shooting from the bench, from Terence Fortea, I think that would be big for UP and possibly yung get a game or 2. Maui.
Yeah, I was supposed to pick Fortea din for UP. Kasi he's that kind of guy that can just light it up. But I'll go with one of our most favorite players from UP. I'm going with Mark Belmonte. Probably not that much of a magic hugot since he gets naman a few minutes, but he hasn't really gotten consistently a lot of minutes with Terculas breaking out also. This is a matchup against the best front court and the UAAP. And I think yung size ni Belmonte will also be a factor. There will be times that Lopez or probably Terculas will be bullied. There will be times that Lopez might also play the small forward slot because of the size advantage. So I have to pick. I don't think it's gonna be Alter kasi you never see naman Alter with Diouf, diba? And you rarely see Pablo with Diouf. So I think it's gonna be Mark Belmonte getting that some spot minutes at the power forward slot. If he can just bring you energy, if he can just get a few offensive rebounds, steal a few rebounds from Mike Phillips or the other bigs of Sal, then definitely he will be a factor. Maybe not so much sa box score, but maybe yung energy niya and just really making it harder for the LaSalle front court. I mean, there's a reason why we pick front court players, diba, to be our X factors for LaSalle. On the LaSalle end, I have to go also with another guy that has to have a good series. It has to be VJ David. I like how this guy is playing. It actually reminds me of Cyril Gonzalez before sa UP. He was also a guy I considered as a magic hugot. Pero sa dami ng guards ng UP, probably not. But VJ David, yeah. I think si Gab also talked about this when he mentioned Abadam. I've also been high on Abadam. But definitely yung outside shooting kasi ng LaSalle will have to come out during this series. If they make their outside shots, then it will be very hard for UP to stop Kevin Kiambao. They will really have to play man-to-man defense on Kevin Kiambao. And we all know Kevin Kiambao is a walking mismatch. If you put a big, he's too fast. If you put a guard or a wing, he's too tall. He'll just bully you in the post. And so yeah, definitely I'm picking VG David. I think this is a guy that has hit some crucial shots. I remember he hit a crucial shot against Ateneo, also from a Kevin Kiambao pass. I think any of the shooters from the LaSalle bench have to show out. Kaya I was joking, di ba? Si Joaquin Manuel baka manggulat if he gets the chance to shoot some open 3-point shots. So yeah, definitely. I think it's very common what we've been saying. For LaSalle, the main thing is really outside shooting, then hitting their 3-point shots. For UP, it's about controlling the paint, controlling the front court of LaSalle. Sam.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Actually, I had Belmonte. Since you mentioned him, maybe a Luis Pablo. I think out of necessity, he might have to play because if let's say Diouf or their main bigs get into foul trouble, they'll have to play someone else, right? So Belmonte or maybe a Pablo would be a magic hugot. Just again, spot minutes lang, just be solid. On Lasal side, I was also going to say no player in particular, but like Lasal's 3-point shooters. You talked about it, Maui. I think Gab, you said na yung zone defense ng UP will be crucial in slowing down Lasal, but I think if they obviously hit their 3-point shooters, they'll be forced to do man, as you mentioned, Maui. So I agree with that. Maybe just to pick someone else, I don't know, maybe Nuwangko just in case ma-foul trouble lahat ng bigs ng mga ng Lasal, someone who can like just guard Diouf, 'di ba? Pang ano lang, pambangga lang kay Diouf, maybe he pulls a Gio Chu na just get a block, get one drive in, that's good enough.
Or maybe get a foul or two kay Diouf.
Kay Diouf, yeah,
Diba?
that's crucial, 'di ba? That's crucial. So something I also thought about. Let's move on before we end this episode. I have to ask. Last question. Finals predictions. I know this always ends up biting us in the ass, but we have to ask for fun. Come on, for fun, guys. Finals prediction. You guys know what I already predicted, so I'm gonna stick with it. I'll start. Na-mention ko like a few episodes ago. Sabi ko, you know what? I think Lasal's gonna win this championship. So I'm from UP, I'm from Ateneo, but I'm picking Lasal. Maui, I think the one wala lang, just for fun, but I
Wait,
think the one reason...
Sammy, just extra question for you. Lasal in 2, Lasal in 3.
You know me, Lasal in 3. We want an exciting final series, and I think it's going to be a close one. But as Maui mentioned, I think KQ is the best local player, or maybe even the best player in the UAAP, and this is his opportunity to prove that. And if he does prove na he's the best player in the UAAP, I know UP is the heavy favorites. And, you know, secretly, syempre, cheering for UP pa rin. But I think KQ can somehow pull it off and will this Lasal team to a championship. But I throw the question to you guys. Finals predictions. Let's start with Maui.
Yeah.
Finals prediction.
Actually, Sam, yung general comment ko lang before I say mine is may curse yung UAAP, di ba? Pag sino yung MVP, they don't win the championship. I think that's an ongoing curse. Di ba? Ongoing curse to, I think, since Ben Embala won the MVP award for Lasal. So, a few seasons, probably 5 or 6 seasons na, that when the MVP comes from a team, they don't win the championship. But despite that, I would have to agree with Sam. I'm going for Lasal in hopefully 3 games because we want more games kasi it will be a long off-season again. And we don't know if the off-season will be as exciting as the one that we had this past season. But I'm going with Lasal in 3 games. I think my main reasons are very basic. I think Kevin Cambao is leaps and bounds the best player in the UAAP. I think he is a walking mismatch. I would be surprised if he comes back for season 87. Pero nag-tweet daw siya, sabi ng friend namin ni Apo, ng season 87 even before the finals.
Whoa. The commitment.
So I think yun, Kevin Cambao being the best player is one of my main reasons. The other thing is, Lasal is on a 9-game winning streak. Going into the finals, they swept the second round. They still won. They still defeated NU convincingly. I mean, it could be 2 things. Maybe NU just collapsed and just played poorly. As Gab mentioned, they really played poorly ng dulo. But it could have been also Lasal being very dominant. And I think there is also a case for that. I just think that Lasal has the answers that we have been they have the keys, they have the answers to potentially beat UP. Don't get me wrong. I think UP is still the team to beat. This has been the case the whole season, the whole off-season. UP has always been has never been the underdog. Just to be clear, they have been the clear favorites. I have to say, they have been the clear favorites the whole season, the whole 2023. Since season 86 ended, they have been the favorites. Just because Malik Diouf has
season 85 ended. Season
85, sorry.
ended.
Since season 85 ended with Ange Kwame gone, UP has been the clear favorite. Diba? It's been all about questions on if Omar Jan can step up so NU can beat LaSalle, can beat UP, if Ateneo can somehow have a magic that didn't pan out for this season. And if LaSalle, if Coach Topex can transform this team into a contender with all their talent. And I think this season, they have answered most of the questions. They have gone through all the pressure, starting 4-3 and ending the elimination round as the number 2 seed, almost stealing the number 1 seed. And I think they have the coach to go toe-to-toe with Coach Goldwyn. When you're going up against Coach Goldwyn, it's not just about the talent that UP has. It has to be also a good coach. I think that's been established. Coach Gold is also a great coach. Coach Tab has always said that all of his matches with Coach Gold have been a chess match. And I think Coach Topex, with the experience he had nung first round, we were very critical on how he never adjusted nung end game. I think with all the experiences he had and with all the momentum that LaSalle had, I'm going with LaSalle. I can't believe I'm saying this. If you guys know me, my friends know me, my dad, me, we are LaSalle haters. But I'm going for LaSalle to win the championship season 86. I think it's gonna be more exciting also for the UAAP, di ba? Different champions.
Yeah.
3 straight seasons.
Yeah, si Maui, if you know him, walang green na damit yan. Dahil ayaw niya ng green. Ganyan yan ka, blue. And he's picking LaSalle. That says a lot. Gab, finals predictions. Let's see kung pare-pareho tayo.
Sorry, but
I'm surprised, by the way, Ash. I'm surprised, Maui, you picked LaSalle. But go ahead, Gab.
I'm gonna have to disagree with the two of you guys. As much as I love KQ and I love the LaSalle story and their hot streak, UP is just too good. UP is just too deep. And they have
not a question, yeah.
You know the old adage, defense wins championships, and UP
They have the best.
They have the best defense. Just awesome defense. Again, Coach Tom Chua, you've made a fan out of me. Your defensive schemes are amazing, and I think it's gonna go 3 games. Same as the two of you guys.
3 games. Okay.
I'll be very surprised.
Wish list natin,
Wish
diba?
list. Mga content creators.
Kahit sino na
content.
manalo kasi, di ba, we rooted for Ateneo since we are Ateneo fans. Si Sam is also UP. But at the end of the day, right now, we're looking for more games.
Yep. I'd be very surprised if someone sweeps this series. I don't think it's gonna be a sweep. I think it was definitely gonna go 3 games. But I'm picking UP. They just have the better defense. They have Malik Diouf. Again, I've harped on this since last season, since season 84 actually. Malik Diouf is an awesome defender. That's an amazing defender. I never thought that there would come a time that I would compare someone to Ange Kwame, but I did. And it was Malik Diouf who went toe-to-toe with an Ange Kwame and even got the better of him in certain matchups. Yeah, I'm picking UP. I'm not gonna overthink this. They are the favorites. Tama ka, Maui. Stop it with the underdog thing, man. Come on, it's getting old.
They have Malik
You guys
Diouf.
are not the underdogs. Yeah, you have Malik Diouf. You have the best team in the UAAP. Stop it with this underdog thing. You're the favorites.
Best defense.
And I think you're gonna take back that championship and bring it back to UP Diliman. So UP for me, LaSalle for the two of you.
Okay. That's it. We're hoping for an exciting game this Wednesday. We'll definitely cover the final series kahit wala ning Ateneo. We're still covering that because we're just fans of the game. That's why we're wishing for 3 games actually. But don't forget, comment. Ano yung predictions nyo? Ano thoughts nyo? Sino X Factor, Magic Hugot nyo for each of the team? What are you looking forward to this, the first game of the finals? Don't forget, subscribe, share it with your friends. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.